I've seen, oh, there's a photo. You have a WhatsApp photo, as we all do. A very lovely one. And the caption reads, if you do not have a seat at the top table, you will not be able to make decisions that empower your community. Right? Did you update that a long time ago?
That was 2 weeks ago. I think my next one's due to go up this week, I think.
I look forward to seeing what that is. What does having a seat at the table mean to you? At the top table?
The top table is where decisions like funding are made. And if you are not at that table, there's no funding for you. That's an example. And I remember as a councillor at Lewisham, I was on the police consultative board, and what they had was a steering committee. And I remember attending is it steering committee? I can't remember what the name is, but I was there anyway, and it was the police and a couple of organisations and us members and a couple of other people. And the police come and say, we've got this money and we want to give it to A sitting there because we think A does a lot of work in the community. And they asked everyone to put their hands up who agree. And I didn't put my hand up. So look at me, Councillor Brooks, you haven't put your hand up. But I said, yes, because I don't agree. And they looked at me and the gentleman looked at me and he said, why not? Duwayne, you've seen some of the work that we do. And I said, but your work isn't good enough. But more importantly, there isn't anybody else in this room who can put their hand up and say, I would like that money. So it's unfair that the money goes straight to that organisation. Oh, what we need to do then is organise another meeting. I said, that's right. And what you need to do is let all the community organisations that do the same work know about it so they can all attend.
I think that's fair.
What they did is they produced a document to show that they told people, but they didn't tell people, and at the end of the day this organisation got the money. But they've had money for some 20 years because that's how it works locally. If you're friends with that person and this person, you'll always get funding. Another example is when I was at Local Government Association as the deputy chair of the Safer Communities Board. I was there when we had the riots. After the riots, there was a press release drafted up by the organisation, and basically the press release said that it was black gangs that caused and were involved in the riots. Now, I was a Lib Dem councillor at that time. Both the Tories and Labour signed off the press release, but I have to sign it because it's cross-party. I have to sign it before it goes out, and it came to me 3 times, and 3 times I threw it in the bin. That's because I was at the top table to make that decision.
I see.
If I wasn't at that table, then the person there would have made the decision and did what the other 2 done, and it would have been on record forever, local government, that it was black gangs, black people that caused and was involved in all the looting during the riots. That's just 2 examples. There's more, but I just can't remember them. And that's what that's about. If we're not there, then we can't make those decisions. We can't intervene. And it doesn't matter what political party you are in. You just need to be at the top table.
Do you think that there need to be specific people from a certain background or race or gender at this top table?
No.
Okay.
You've just got to be a person that understands what's actually happening. That is it. Your life experience is good enough for you to be in politics. They give the impression, because we see a lot of for example today, we can see that a number of people in politics went to private school. So what? That has no relevance at all. The only thing I would say about that is in those schools you do make contacts and you do meet people who you wouldn't normally meet, etc., etc. That's normal. But that has no bearing on their ability to be a politician.
Did you run for mayor?
In Lewisham?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
And that was a great experience.
I can imagine. Do you think I should run for mayor one day?
Why not?
Thank you very much. So it was reported that you ran for mayor because you said you wanted to give young black boys a voice, and not only the ones in London but across the UK. Is that correct, firstly?
Yes, that was partly correct, but I'm not just, I may be black, and we can see that, but when you look across London today, if you get on a bus or on public transport and you shut your eyes, you don't know if they're black or white.
Correct.
So you have to be a voice for everybody.
I agree with you there. So you would say that's not the case anymore. You said you want to be a voice for everybody.
No, that was part of
That was
my
part
manifesto.
of the reason. Okay. Why did you want to take on such a challenging role, becoming mayor, prime minister, whichever?
Because
it would be challenging.
These are the roles that we need to go for. You know, I'm fed up of hearing people say, "Oh, I can't go for that role. You know, I'm not qualified. I can't do that. That's too big for me." Well, how do you know? The majority of the times, people go for these roles where you have to be elected. They have no experience, because if you haven't done it before, you have no experience of the role.
Absolutely.
Therefore, you learn on the job. When I became deputy chair at local government, I had no experience of the role, and I was drowning for 6 months. But then once you get past that, it's a breeze. You have to be disciplined with your time, reading, what you learn, where you go, what you do. You have to be disciplined. But once you get over the initial learning curve, it's a breeze, and we can all do it.
Okay.
All of us.
I agree with you completely. So during the time that you were campaigning, during the time that you wanted to become mayor, did any MPs give you any guidance or tell you what you could do?
Is this for what were we talking about, Lewisham or London Mayor?
Lewisham.
Lewisham Mayor.
Lewisham Mayor.
People ring me all the time and give advice, but I do a lot of reading. If I look back over the years and look at places where I could have made different decisions, I think if I read more books, then I would have made different decisions. I probably wouldn't have made so many mistakes. So I have all those books now, and I have them as audio books. And whilst I'm driving or I'm on public transport, I'm always listening, and I always say to people, you need to buy these books or these audio books and listen. They will help you on your journey. But the whole mayor challenge was a challenge for me to show myself that I can do all of that, and to show other people that you don't have to have lots of money, you don't have to go private school, you don't have to have a rich family. You can stand up and have those debates and talk about policy, speak to young people, speak to anybody in the community. You could do it. And what I was showing is that I can do it. It was just disappointing to hear people say he didn't want it that much because he didn't knock on my door. You know, I didn't have 500 people knocking doors like the Labour Party had, or a couple of hundred like the other parties had. I was an independent then, and I was just showing people, you can do this.
I believe you can do pretty much anything you put your mind to. You ever thought that we would have like metal flying in the sky, aeroplanes? You know what I mean? It's possible. You ran for London Mayor. Could you keep on saying London and Lewisham? Or London
No,
or Lewisham?
I didn't run for London.
Okay.
I was put forward as somebody who could do.
Okay. So current Mayor Sadiq Khan has been accused of not supporting the black community enough.
Right.
And I think that's with regards to, well, a number of things, but mainly knife crime. A lot of people say, oh, because it's not affecting your community or your home, you're not interested in helping us fight it or combat it. Do you think, I don't know if you agree with that statement, but do you think that because he doesn't come from a similar background, like, for example, the mentors or the advocates I was talking about, he doesn't understand how to clamp down on knife crime?
I don't know what he thinks because I don't know him. But what I do know in politics, you put your money where your votes are. You would be a foolish politician if you invested in people that, one, were not going to vote for you, and two, always voted for you. You put your money in people who you don't know who they're going to vote for, so you can convince them to vote for you.
This is true. It sounds sensible.
Black people always vote Labour.
Mm.
Why waste your time putting money there?
Yeah.
Why give them money for their organisations? It
Doesn't
doesn't
make
matter.
sense. So, the documentary Stabbed, you said it's important, it's a catalyst for other men to speak up if they're going through anything.
Mm-hmm.
Did you have any of the parents or any of the friends that were involved in that documentary contact you afterwards and ask for support or anything like that?
There were some,
Okay.
but it's for the production company and the BBC to do that. That's their role, to provide aftercare
Okay.
support for the family members and for the friends. That wasn't really my role. The good news about the documentary is it's been shortlisted
Wow.
for best documentary, and I've been shortlisted for best presenter. Don't know how.
Wow.
but
Congratulations.
it's there.
That's amazing. That's an
it's
incredible
amazing.
achievement.
Yes,
Congratulations.
first ever.
How did you
documentary.
feel when you first heard about that? Did you jubilate? Did you jump up and down? Did you buy yourself some ice cream?
No. I was sitting in the car and I got a message on WhatsApp and I said, wow. Then I saw the commissioner from the BBC who commissioned the documentary. She had tweeted it, so I retweeted it. But it's a huge achievement.
It really is. So I have 3 more questions for you and I want us to breeze through them.
Okay.
If you had the opportunity to open up youth centres across London, would you do that? When I was younger, there were plenty.
No.
I
It's all a myth.
enjoyed.
And the message that's being sent out is wrong.
So no.
And it really annoys me when I hear adults, black adults, talk about if we had youth clubs, we wouldn't have crime. What are we saying?
No. I don't know if it would deter people from involving themselves in criminal activities. I'm just saying it gave many of us things to do after school, activities that we can engage in.
Like what? What do you think you're going to engage in now when you got your mobile phone?
You make a good point. So what would you create for the youth if it wasn't a youth centre or a youth hub?
Tech hubs.
Tech hubs.
Because what
That's
we
a great
want to do-
idea.
What we do want to do is encourage greatness.
Yes.
And many of our young people just need that push. And then you need access and you need funding.
I like the sound of this.
And recently the government announced special funding for under 25s who want to start up their own business. And that's what's needed. Because at the end of the day, we need to create more jobs. And with the 4th industrial revolution upon us, things are going to change rapidly. Thousands of jobs are going to disappear. Therefore, we need to create more jobs to compensate for those jobs that will disappear over the next 10 years.
I agree with you. 100%. If you could change your identity for a day, would you, and who would you be?
No, I'm Duwayne Brooks the first, and I will stay Duwayne Brooks the first. I love my life. The experiences that I have had are unique, and it gives me a voice which is also unique and powerful. I would not want to change that for nothing.
anything. Fair enough. I really like that answer because I know some people would be like, yeah, I want to be a superhero or some actor somewhere that they know nothing about. So I really appreciate
And
that
I am me.
answer. Yeah, you definitely
I
are.
want to stay me.
Good. Fair enough. What has been your biggest achievement thus far?
I would say taking on the system and being me. The system, there's this perception which clouds our judgment as young people that the system is against you, and adults spread that word, and what it does is it makes you see everything out of filters that are telling you the system is against you. So everywhere you look you see an obstacle which isn't actually there. And that's what we do to our own community. So for me it was the system was against me. So after Steve was murdered, the system was against me, and I'm fighting the system. And in my mind, my greatest achievement is coming through the other side, so fighting the system, but also realizing there is no system against you. It's all in your mind, and it's put there by adults who cannot see for themselves that the system is there for everybody to benefit from. You've just got to decide in your mind that you want to benefit from it. The day you decide it's against you, you will see the world in those filters. Everything is against you. And my greatest achievement is understanding that, realizing that, and telling young people, don't wake up thinking the system's against you. Wake up thinking, or asking yourself the question, what am I going to do today that's going to be successful?
That's great advice. Lastly, if there are any young people, and I'm sure there are plenty, who would want to run for mayor or prime minister in the future, what piece of advice could you give them?
Get up and do it. Don't worry about what people are going to say about you. There's always going to be negative people saying negative things. I don't think you can do that. You're not good enough to do this. Who do you think you are? Ignore those people. Ignore those. And what you find, it's normally the people that are closest to you that say those negative things. But we've got this issue in our community where everybody wants to drag everybody down.